Hey guys, this is Erin Lohman at CAPS, here to talk to you today about relationships. As always, as a reminder, this should not be viewed as a substitute for therapy. Rather, think of this as some quick advice and information to sort of steer you in a direction. However, if you've got some significant concerns going on where it might seem like therapy could be beneficial, please give our office a call. We'd love to get something set up. Our number is 316-978-4792. Or if you're a first-time client, you can also go to wichita.edu/CAPS and make an appointment on our website as well. If you are in crisis or someone you know is in crisis and needing more immediate assistance, please call 911 or the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. All right, so let's get it started and get into our first question. First question here is, I feel like my partner and I are growing apart. What can I do? The best thing you can do in this case is to just talk to them. Be honest with them, let them know how you've been feeling, what your concerns are, and see if you two can work together in order to generate some solutions and figure out how to relight that fire. This ties in really nicely with our next question, which is, I get nervous about being honest with my partner. Any tips for how to make that easier? So yeah, honesty is hard. It requires us to be vulnerable, which can be a really scary thing. The other thing I often hear from people is that there's a concern that if they're honest, then that's going to lead to conflict, and then that's just going to make things worse rather than better. So there are a few strategies here. One you may have already heard of before, and that's to use I statements rather than you statements. So saying something like, I'd like us to feel more connected is going to come across probably more effectively than saying something like, you haven't been paying much attention to me lately. A second tip here is to use language that identifies what you would like to see happen, what you would like to see changed, versus just stating a problem. So instead of saying, we don't do anything together anymore, it might be more helpful to say, I'd like to feel more connected. Maybe we should initiate a weekly date night. Moving on, our third question is, I'm single and fine with that, but people keep telling me I should be looking for a relationship. Is there something wrong with me? The short answer to that is no, of course not. There is not one correct way to be a human being and to approach your relationships. Some people really enjoy being in a relationship, and when they're not in a relationship, they're content sort of looking for the next one. That's okay. On the other hand, there are people who do not mind being single. So yeah, one way or another isn't right or isn't wrong. What is important here is that you feel content with where your life is at. Okay, next question. What's the best way to show my partner that I care about them? So there are different ways that people can express their love and affection to someone else, and there are different ways that people like having love and affection shown to them. One way to think of this is through the concept of love languages. So there are 5 love languages. So the first is words of affirmation. Second one is quality time. Third is acts of service. Fourth is gifts, and the fifth one is physical touch. So different people are going to respond differently to those types of expressions of love. There are lots of things online you can look up related to this, and free quizzes that will help identify what your love language is. If you are feeling like you want to make sure that you are expressing your love and your affection in a way that works for your partner, it might also be helpful to have them take one of these quizzes. That way you can sort of know where they're at and what might be helpful for them. All right, so fifth and final question here. My partner and I have been going through rough times recently. How do I know whether I should end the relationship or keep working at it? Yeah, so this is a hard question, and unfortunately, there's not an easy answer here. Every relationship is so different, and the history surrounding that relationship is going to be so different. So it's just not possible to say if X, Y, and Z have happened, then yeah, in the relationship or stay in the relationship. It just isn't that easy. However, there are a few things that might provide some guidance and some help as you try to sort through this. So, one, overall, is the relationship a positive influence in your life? Does it feel like it's adding something? That's not to say that there aren't challenges in the relationship, but big picture, does the relationship seem to help more than it seems to hurt? A second consideration here is if there's a specific problem, are you and your partner committed to the relationship and willing to try to work through this problem? Is there motivation to do so? And related to that, is there reason to be optimistic that the problems can be worked out? So those are all of our questions for today. Remember to visit @ShockersCaps on Instagram in order to vote for the topic you'd like to see covered next. And yeah, I hope we'll see you then. Bye, guys.